Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning for another news update for Wednesday, December 3, 2025. And I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Indicom probing fatal police shootings in St. James and St. Mary. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing two separate fatal police shootings that occurred on Monday. One man was shot and killed during an alleged confrontation in Salt Spring, St. James, and another in Scotts Hall District in Castleton, St. Mary. The deceased man in the St. James incident has been identified as 21-year-old Jordan James, otherwise called a Sizzler. According to Indicom, the police reported that they were armed with a search warrant in Salt Spring to locate a man known as Sizzler. It was further reported that, upon gaining entry to the house by a woman, rooms were searched and the man was seen with a firearm pointed at the police. The officers, according to Indicom, are reported to have fired in the direction of the man and he was pronounced dead at hospital. Meanwhile, in St. Mary, the police report that information was received in relation to a man seen with a gun. Officers reportedly visited the premises and the man failed to comply with instructions to drop the firearm, according to Indicom. It is alleged that the man pointed the firearm at the officers, who in turn fired in the man's direction. The formal identification of the deceased in St. Mary remains unconfirmed. He is known by his alias, Dodd or Dada. A firearm was reportedly recovered by the police in each of the incidents, Indicom reported. Additionally, the commission says no body-worn camera was reported as being worn by any of the concerned officers in either of the two incidents. It says both incident scenes were examined and the evidential material recovered, processed, and packaged. Indicom says the hands of the deceased were swabbed for gunshot residue and their bodies photographed and sealed pending post-mortem examination. The concerned officers were served notices to submit statements and/or attend interviews. Indicom says these latest shootings increased to 282 the total number of persons who have been fatally shot by the security forces so far this year. Police arrest 3 employees of St. Catherine Municipal Corporation as part of investigation. 3 persons employed at the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation have been taken into custody by the police for questioning following an operation on Tuesday. The news understands that the Municipal Corporation called in the police to investigate an alleged misappropriation of funds. Head of the St. Catherine North Police Division, Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, confirmed that the workers were picked up and are being questioned. According to the police, the investigation is ongoing. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Municipal Corporation and the Mayor of Spanish Town, Norman Scott, when contacted, told the news that he was not prepared to comment on the matter as yet. JPS suffers another setback after wires are stolen in St. Anne. The Jamaica Public Service says its efforts to restore electricity to communities in St. Anne have suffered a major setback following the theft of several spans of wires from a work site in Richmond on Sunday night. The company says vandals not only removed the sections of transmission and the distribution lines, but also cut parts of the remaining wires, rendering them unusable. JPS says that the incident will delay restoration by at least 3 additional days for customers in parts of the parish. The utility company is strongly condemning the act, warning members of the public not to tamper with its infrastructure or remove materials from its work sites. This latest theft comes less than a week after a separate act of sabotage in Bonham Spring, where a newly planted utility pole was deliberately cut at the base, knocking out power to customers who had already recently been reconnected. JPS is urging residents to be vigilant and report any suspicious activity around the power infrastructure as it continues restoration work in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. OU are monitoring bill relief measures announced by utility providers. The Office of Utilities Regulations says it will be monitoring the initial billing relief measures announced by major utility providers in response to the widespread impact of Hurricane Melissa. The OUR says in the week following the hurricane, it wrote to the major utility providers requesting details on how they planned to address customers' billing in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane and in the months ahead. It says similar letters were sent to private operators supplying water and/or sewage services to small customer bases. In response, the Jamaica Public Service Company has advised that it will suspend the service disconnections and the late payment fees until December 15, while offering flexible payment arrangements for its rated 10 and residential or rated 20 or general service customers requiring additional support. The National Water Commission says it will ease the billing in the hardest hit communities starting December until service is restored. Additionally, NWC will review November's estimated bills for customers who have been without a service since the hurricane and extend its micro, small and medium-sized enterprises amnesty program until December 31. Telecoms providers Digicel and Flow have also announced the relief measures for their customers, including a pause in disconnections, waiving of late fees, and offering rebates where applicable. The OUR says it will continue to engage and encourage all utility service providers to apply reasonable consideration when billing. Maine rejects the Integrity Commission claim of non-compliance regarding statutory declarations. Junior Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Xavier Maine, has rejected claims by the Integrity Commission that he has failed to supply information requested regarding his statutory declarations, thereby breaching the law. Director of Corruption Prosecution at the Commission, Ranif Lawrence, has recommended that Maine be charged for allegedly failing to provide information requested on his income and assets. Lawrence's ruling, along with the Commission's investigation report by Director of Investigation Kevin Stevenson, was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. According to the report, the case stems from multiple requests issued to Maine between October 2023 and February 2024 for additional details regarding his income, assets and liabilities as declared for the years 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. Maine failed to provide a portion of the requested information, and his failure to do so contravenes Section 43(1)(b) of the Integrity Commission Act. Stevenson said that provision states that a person who without reasonable cause fails to provide information requested commits an offense. However, Maine, in a statement issued by his attorney, Nigel Jones, said he strongly and vehemently rejects any suggestion of non-compliance. Jones said the Commission's decision to recommend that his client be charged following a disagreement on the interpretation of a point of law confirms that the Commission is an entity that has lost its way and is on a fishing expedition. Jones said that following a brief review of the report, which was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday, he is of the view that the case against Maine is frivolous, vexatious, and without a legal merit. NRSC concerned about the number of children killed in road crashes. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucien Jones, has voiced a deep concern over the number of children who have died in road traffic crashes since the start of the year. Up to Sunday, 17 children had died in road crashes. The latest fatality was 14-year-old Jadon Smith of Crawler River, who was a student of Edwin Allen High School in Clarendon. It was reported that the teen was a passenger in a Nissan Sunny motor car that was being driven by his father at excess speed when it crashed on the New Road Main Road in Clarendon on Sunday. Dr. Jones said for the Road Traffic Act to be effective, sanctions must be applied to lawbreakers.
Our children are present and future, and we therefore need to make sure that all the laws that are in place that would help to remove drivers who persist in speeding, who persist in drinking and driving and smoking marijuana and driving, and not regarding the law that says you can't drive with a cell phone unless you have an instrument which allows you to listen without taking your hands off the wheel. Essentially, we have to make sure that these laws work and that sanctions are applied when people are breaking the law. Appealing is always good, educating is good, but unless people are sanctioned when they do wrong, then we'll continue to lose our children and others too.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.